Hello there. Hi. Okay. Very happy to see you guys. Welcome back. And this presentation is about good questions for youth in an ACS case. And I am Antonia Tamburello. Okay, so what I found when I was working these cases, you really have to have a good sense of asking a lot of good questions to the children because you're going to somewhere in this case, you're going to need resource information because you don't know what's going to happen, if you're going to need placement. And while you're going through this to find these resources, it's really good because now you're getting more information about the family and you can get a better understanding as well. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so here's our introduction. Strategic questions to ask children will help the worker find and secure resources for future planning. That's what I was mentioning, you never know. You don't want to wait till the last minute and then you're running around trying to figure out how you're going to do this. And then the child could wind up in a foster care where maybe, if you do all this homework in the beginning, you would have already, you'll have a list of people to talk to, and you might have already spoken to them. Those things are very important. You want to be able to talk to all these people that you're going to find out when you speak to the children, so that if anything comes about that you need a resource, you have already interviewed them. Okay. All right, so let's move along. I have here part one. So here are some of the ideas of questions that you want to ask. So you could ask kids if they have older siblings, because sometimes it could be an older married sibling that lives somewhere else. That could be a good resource. Do they know how to reach them? And you could find out, get some phone numbers. Are there adults that they trust to help them? Anyone from school that they can trust and respect? All this information is very important to jot down and to put in your progress notes for future use. And you're going to want to interview these people. This is going to become an important part in the future of the case. Okay, so let's move along. And then I have more questions here. Put them in parts because you can't fit all these question ideas into one slide. Find out if they have any friends they are close to and can they reach them. Who makes them feel comfortable? Who are these people? Get their phone numbers. Who would worry about them? So what you're doing is you're boxing in a scenario of a certain kind of a person that would really 100% want to help this child. Who are the people saved in their phone? That's important. Because there you go. There you have a whole group of resources right there. They could be saved in the child's phone. Okay, so let's move along here. Okay, what do we have here? Part 3. Who do you talk to a lot? That's important to find out. You'd be surprised. Someone that they confide in all the time and talk to, they may actually have some important resources there for for you to write down and have an interview. Um, what would you want your life to be like? How do you see your life? That's a very important question to ask that child, because um, later on, like when you're talking to these people, these resources, you want to convey that into some kind of in your interview to find out if this is going to be a good match. You know, you want to be able to help this child, and everything that this child sees for their life. You don't know what it is. It could be a particular subject that in the future they want to go to college. You don't know where they want to go to college, or you want to try and the best that you can with all this information to create um, the right fit, the place for this child to grow and prosper and to be comfortable and to get as close as possible to that life that this child is describing to you. Okay, what else do we have here? You want to find out who listens to you. So you would ask them, like, who listens to you? There's, not everybody, the children can't really talk to everybody comfortably. There's usually a certain group of people that they can talk to. And you really want to find that out. Then I have here, you could ask them who babysat you when you were very young. There you go. You have another person that's a possibility, right? You want to find out people that know this child. You're going to want to get phone numbers. You want to find out where they live. You want to get some information about them to see, if there are possibilities for placement if needed. You want to be able to call them instantly if there should be a scenario that comes up in the future where you're having a child safety conference and now you're sitting at the table and you're trying to figure out, you know, who could be a possibility where this child could be placed in this home, because now you want to call that person and have them come and join into the conversation. You could call them and they could join the meeting if um, if it works with their schedule, because these child safety conferences, they happen spur of the moment. It's not something that's going to be planned like 3 or 4 days down the road. And maybe that person who wants to be included can't make the meeting, but there might be a possibility they could phone in, right? That's a possibility. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Part 4. I would ask, how big is your family? Because I mean, if they have a really big family, then you have an idea. You want to find out about how, how life was for them. You want to find out all these things, because that's another part about how you want to make sure that if needed, you want to create the perfect fit for the child and whoever the resource is going to be. And then you have to ask the child for permission to talk to them. You want to, ask for permission to talk to their friends or to certain relatives or maybe people in the school. You want to ask for permission if you can talk to these people, because that will build a rapport between you and the child. That's so important. You'd be surprised, you know. That shows the child that, you care. care enough, because you have to remember they're going through a trauma, right? They're getting separated if it goes to that point. Um, let's see if there's anything I'm missing here. Let me take a look. Because when they're going through all this trauma, they're getting really very exhausted. It really takes so much out of them. It's sad. I remember those scenes, and it's hard for them to understand why you want to talk to their family members, or why do you want to talk to their friends, because then they're afraid they're gonna be embarrassed. And if you come to such a situation in a conversation like that, you could ask them, like, okay, so which people could you pick and friends that you won't be embarrassed about? If you, the caseworker, spoke with them, say it's important that I talk to them in case we have any emergencies and we need someone else to help besides your parents. You could leave it like that. You don't want to scare them and say that you're calling these people to talk about, placement, because they're already going through too much. But it would be seriously important, to get their permission and to get them to understand why you're doing this without scaring them. Let me take a look and see if there's anything else that hmm, hmm, hmm. Hmm. Because like basically, children, they have families that you could talk. There's aunts, uncles. There could be an older sibling, and you want to, find out about these people, and you could probably get more information from them, from other family members, right? These are all possibilities. You want the child to trust you and to be able to talk to you, the caseworker, um, letting them know that you are here to help them and keep them safe. And it's hard because children are not going to come to you and talk so freely, because they're usually afraid of the caseworker. They don't, they would rather not talk, but that's where you have to become very creative with your questions and how you present yourself. You want to show them that you are for them, that you want to help them 100%. You can even ask them. That's another question on the list, that even right here, we can come up with a whole bunch of questions to discuss here. And you could even ask them, like, what can I do to make you feel comfortable? Because, I feel like I should tell you, what I am trying to do to help you, but you can help me help you. As a caseworker, you would tell the child, you can help me help you back. So that's why we should have these discussions, like, what's going on in school? Is there anything at home that's bothering you that you think I can help you with? And then you could even talk about if they feel like they want to talk to someone, like a therapist, or how would they feel if that you worked on some kind of services for them. Maybe they feel like they want to talk privately to someone. That's also something you could do. Um, you could ask them, because ACS has such a wide variety of so many things, even resources and um, things like in the entertainment and social kind of things and educational. They have all kinds of programs. And let's say that the child talks about art or they love sports and things like that. You could, to kind of get them to, get a little bit more comfortable with you, you could talk about all these things that you can offer them to kind of make like a meeting of the minds, like, meeting somewhere in between where, like you're showing them that there are things that you want to give to them, that possibly they're not even involved in, you know. Maybe they want to take some kind of art classes or get involved in sports or camps and things like that, you might have these kind of conversations with them so that they could feel um, comfortable talking to you and start to build a rapport and a trust with you. And they kind of will look at you like, oh, wow, this lady or this guy or, whoever their caseworker is can actually get some things that I like about entertainment or sports or, things that I'm interested in, you know, contests like writing contests, and there's just a lot of interesting things that come up in programs for the children. These are things that you could talk about. You could talk about the parties that we have. There's always parties and that come up for the children, like ACS likes to do things like that. They'll have Christmas parties for the kids and they get gifts and, you know, anything that you can also say to make them feel comfortable to talk to you and trust you, and you actually have to deliver on that. You have to show that, you know, that would be very important. And you'd be surprised. The children will respond. They will respond. And they'll actually start giving you more information and talk to you because they're going to say, well, look, this person is going to help me with sports programs and art programs. And, sometimes there are organizations that give free tickets out to the children to go to theme parks or movies and outings. And there's all kinds of things that I remember, you know. So these are some of the things that you could talk about. Okay, so that's it for this group of slides about questions questions for the kids so that you can get some resource information and building a rapport with them. And you're going to have more interviews. And remember, you have to document this. You have to remember that famous sentence that we always talk about. It'll be like a nonstop broken record. It'll just keep repeating itself, and it'll keep saying, if you did not document it, it did not happen. Got to remember that. Big neon lights. You got to always remember that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. There'll be more coming up. And again, I've said many times before in the other videos, it's nice to know a little bit of this stuff in advance. For the new worker, it would be a treasure trove because it'll be like, oh wow, look at this, and and it makes you feel a little comfortable. Just to hear the little tips and points about little things like this will could make your day. Brand new in the field, and hearing the perspective from another worker, that you could sit down leisurely in your home and take a spin through all the videos, and now you have a feeling for it, and it's comfortable. So that's what I'm trying to create here. I want to create that kind of an atmosphere so that you'll be comfortable with your position. And again, it's not for everyone. You know, I worked in the field for 7 years, and it is not for everyone. So if this is something that you want to do, it's nice to have a little idea of all these little parts. I'll come up with more videos for you guys. All right, so you have a good evening. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this will be helpful for you somewhere in your future. You know, because we're always going to need new caseworkers to help the children and families. You know, we want to help our communities. So I'll say good night there, and you have a good evening. Bye.